Dragon Shield has recently released their non-glare sleeves in 3 new colors, and they sent me over a couple of boxes to take a look at. Now, they attached no strings to these boxes, so I'm going to give you an unfiltered review, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about these. The good, the bad, and what cards to use them on and what cards not to use them on. So let's go ahead and get started. For those that don't know, non-glare basically means they've taken the front clear film and they've replaced it or remade it with a film that now, instead of reflecting the light, diffuses the light. And you can see that effect kind of right here, whereas this would normally be completely blown out and there would be a lot more of that shading there, that shadow and that brightness. Here, this diffuses it over the face of the card, and you can really see it coming into effect right there. Now, of course, they did release these sleeves and this sort of this model, I don't know what you want to call it, this treatment, if you will, in both clear and black, but now, of course, they have it in blue, red, and green. And I took 2 of these, I took the blue and the red, to a pre-release recently, and then I sleeved them up, I played with them. And I have them in decks still. I kept them together because I think it's important for you to sleeve them up, shuffle them a bunch, and then leave them alone for like half of a week to a week to see what, weather conditions, humidity actually does to the overall shuffle feel. And of course, these ones I feel have a pretty decent, pretty solid, pretty silky, smooth overall shuffle feel. I think Dragon Shield excels with their shuffle feel and the way that they shuffle. They are one of the best, if not the best, on the market on how the sleeves actually feel when they shuffle, and they've put a lot of time and they've grown a lot over the past, 10 years, in my opinion. Like, their corner edges overall feel a lot better than they used to about 10 years ago. The overall uniformity after that little snafu with their printers has been back on track, is a lot better now, and their shuffle feel, because of the fronts and the back texture, is pretty much peerless. There's like one sleeve on the market that I think I like as much, and I of course can do a video about that. If you want, leave a comment down below. I'll tell you what other sleeve brand I am really into right now. But overall, these non-glare sleeves, which these are the red ones, of course is the blue one, they have a great textured back. It's very similar to other dual mats and things like that. I would say it's slightly more textured. In fact, I can show you. Here is a Dragon Shield dual mat. This is the Valor, and this is like my favorite sleeve right now. I'm just a big fan of these sleeves. Beautiful color as well. It has a slightly, what's the best way to say it? Slightly finer textured back versus the a bit more stippled texture back of these non-glare sleeves. But that doesn't change how they shuffle. They still shuffle very well. I did indeed sleeve this deck up, and I shuffled it, 60 to 100 times just for this video, alongside of playing it as well. And they still shuffle great, even after sitting around in what could be humid weather. Now, let's talk a little bit about what this non-glare looks like in comparison to a glare sleeve or a dual matte sleeve, one that doesn't have this non-glare finish. So of course, here is that Valor that I was showing you earlier. You can see it's pretty pronounced. That is quite a big blowout. That's a lot of bloom on the front of that. And this one has the same bloom, but you can see it kind of pushes it to the side. If we're like holding it down here, you can see it kind of takes over the entire card, whereas here it's just super bright. And you can see some of the card, but the rest of it is completely gone, right? So there is some merit to that diffusion effect. Whereas sometimes, and this is one of my gripes with the diffusion effect, and I think this is less a make problem. This isn't necessarily like they crafted it wrong, and it's more a personal preference. I would rather see bits and pieces of the card if I get some glare, versus what we sometimes get with the diffusion where the entire card is just gone, but it's not as harsh to look at. That being said, if you play frequently in a an LGS that has the really harsh lights, looking at this, for like 4 hours, that's not good for your eyes. So there is a huge benefit if you play in that situation a lot to go with a sleeve like this. And we can actually compare these side by side. I have this is the exact same card in the Valor. We'll take it out, we'll put it into this. And you can see exactly what this card does, because this is one of the things that you really should think about. So these are both rainbow foil cards. I'll take it out actually. And they're both double sleeved as well. So this is a rainbow foil version of Aether Dart from Flesh and Blood. You can see it does have some of the reflection going on with these these double sleeves. I think these are double sleeved with the Dragon Shield double sleeve inners, the sealable inners. Either way, that is the look of that card. If we take this, we pop it back into the sleeve here. Okay, so we're comparing the Valor, which does not have that treatment, to the red non-glare. And I want you to just look at both of them. These are both double sleeved, so this is all else being equal. You can see this one a bit clearer in the art and the overall rainbow foiling. This rainbow foiling doesn't shine through as brightly. It's a bit more pervasive. The rainbow foiling kind of takes over. And then the other thing to note is that this overall is a bit cloudier. I personally don't enjoy looking at this one as much as I do this one. But again, that's just the natural effect of a non-glare sleeve. And I can prove that because I have another non-glare sleeve here. And this one, let's go ahead and swap this out. We're doing it live because that's just how we do it here so that you can see it all here. This is a non-glare sleeve from GameGenic. These I kept around because I'm doing a review. This is from GameGenic, and you can pick them up at most LGSs. This, of course, is the Dragon Shield that we're looking at right now in question. And you can see they're basically the same. They basically have that same type of film. As far as the glare goes, it does the same effect there. But you compare like any of these non-glare finishes to a normal finish, and it's definitely going to pop this out just to show you full up. It's definitely going to diffuse more and discolor a little bit more, right? All of these are going to look a little bit, these two specifically are going to look a little bit just cloudier because the way that this front film acts. Now, as far as feel overall, like I talked about, the back feels good. This front feels more papery than a normal non-treated version. This one feels glossier. It feels silkier, smooth. It feels a little thicker on the front, like this plastic is thicker on the front. You can't really tell, but feels it. And then this one right here feels a little paperier. You can almost hear it, whereas this one a bit more plasticky. And feel overall, though, I think they shuffle great. In fact, I will say that out of all the non-glare sleeves I've tried, these shuffle better than any that I've experienced. So if you're looking for non-glare sleeves and you care deeply about shuffle feel, this is a fantastic option. And if you're curious as to how I go about like ranking or understanding what sleeves I like versus what I don't, all you have to do is focus. Fit, opacity, clarity, uniformity, and shuffle feel. These are the 5 things that I look for in any good sleeve, starting with, of course, the fit. It is important with all different sleeves to know the dimensions of the card and the sleeve itself. Of course, most of these sleeves are made for just about every card game, but do you prefer this extra lip on top that gives a little bit more protection to the top of this card? Or do you prefer something that has a little bit less lip? And then, of course, we compare that to something like this GameGenic non-glare sleeve. You can see the difference. Even if I push this card all the way down, this card right here is almost to the top of that thing, right? I mean, it's like really close to the top. Do you prefer that, having less lip right there? Kind of fits the card a little bit more uniformly. You don't have all this excess, which can sometimes catch like that. If you don't like that, that's important to know. So fit is number 1. Opacity is an important one. And why is that important? Well, if you take a look at this card, you can actually see a subtle silhouette outline of the card right here. Now, if you're playing in tournaments, This is actually something dangerous for you, because if you can see the outline, it could be that you could be called for like cheating by marking a card in some way, shape, or form, by adjusting where this card sits. Maybe now that card is not sitting all the way down, and so it must be this card. You could be called for cheating on that. So opacity is really important. Now you can see a little bit through these, and if that's something that worries you, then you would want to probably get like a smoke sleeve on the back of this, like an inner sleeve. Or you would want to keep this in mind for whether or not you're going to be using these in tournaments. Overall, though, if you're playing for casual play, opacity isn't the hugest issue in the world, and it really does come into play more with these single sleeves versus like dual mats. Dual mats are the answer to the opacity problem. They are incredible. You can see that just nothing shows, right? I mean, there's a reason that they produce these, and I think these are some of the best sleeves, if not the best sleeve on the market. Dual mats are just like the tier 0 sleeve for opacity because of this, and just in general. I think that they're some of the best, if not the best, on the market. Clarity is number 3. How well you can actually see the card. Now, this is more of a vanity pick for me. Like, I love the art in Flesh and Blood, and I want to see every possible bit of it. This, finish, this non-glare finish does make it a little cloudier compared to something, like the overall sleeve, but you get a lot of reflection on this. So for recording purposes, I think this is actually better. Like, I would rather record with this because you can see the camera, like it's looking at you right there. That's awkward, right? But at the same time, if you're looking at your foils, and rainbow foils specifically, rainbow foils perform so much better in this front film versus this front film. And I can, of course, prove that again, because I want you to look at the rainbow foiling as I pop this card back in here. You can see the rainbow foiling as we talked about. It's a little bit more diffused. It doesn't pop as much. Now, there is one difference, one card type that actually performs incredibly well in these sleeves. And it's when I actually use the non-glare sleeves. I use them exclusively for this type of card. Cold foil cards look great still in these non-glare sleeves. So if you have a cold foil card, maybe not a rainbow foil, but a cold foil card, it performs incredibly well in this finish. Rainbow foils, not as much, but you can see the cold foil just pops through that kind of film front. This is not bothered by it at all. And in fact, this is actually where I love these sleeves. I am a huge fan of using these types of sleeves for cold foils because it gives you this non-glare look. It gives you a slightly different kind of shine on the board where it's not just hitting you in the face at a certain angle, and you can still see all of the cold foil aspects of the card. So if you're playing a card game that uses cold foils, this is actually a great sleeve to pick up, especially if it lives on the board, if it's a card that lives on the board, because it doesn't take away from the shine at all. Whereas I do think it takes away from the shine of a rainbow foil card. So as far as clarity is concerned, I think these are great for cold foils. Uniformity is next, and of course, this is true of every type of sleeve. It's important that when you buy sleeves that you get cards that are cut equally and evenly, that all the way around you have clean, even cuts. And when it comes to uniformity, it's really important that you check corners, because corners are killers. These are the points of failure when it comes to nicking on a playmat, or sliding across on a playmat of some sort. The moment a corner goes, you can't use that sleeve. So you want sleeves that, one, have good corners right out of the box, and two, have just like clean cuts on the top, even cuts on the side that are uniform all the way through. You can even see the print lines on the sides, which maybe that's an argument against it, but I've never minded those. I don't really think that that's a super big issue on the sides, and I mean, it's pretty uniform, right? And then of course, finally, shuffle feel, and this to me is like my number one, if not my number one, maybe it's my number two compared to like looking like overall the look of the sleeve. To me, shuffle feel, wow, as I drop a sleeve. No, shuffle feel is paramount. If the cards don't shuffle well, I don't care, right? Like, you can have the prettiest back, you can have the most beautiful, vibrant color, but if they shuffle horribly, I'm not using them. I'm taking them, I'm unsleeving them, and I'm putting them in something else. And, you know, that is a really important aspect that you should put front and center if you're planning on shuffling. Now, if you're just a collector, maybe that doesn't matter to you. You know, if you're just a collector, maybe clarity is more important. Uniformity might not be important. You know, there's different aspects and different weighted ranks that you put on each of these points. But overall, you should use this acronym to decide what types of sleeves you like, what types of sleeves you plan on continuing to buy and to use. And if you're looking at these non-glare sleeves, I think they have some great use cases. There are some points that I personally don't like as much. This papery feel, I don't like it as much as this smooth glossy feel. I'm not as big a fan, but man, they are so good if you are putting cold foils in them, especially if you're playing cold foils on the board, and they shuffle surprisingly well. They shuffle really, really well. So those are the Dragon Shield non-glare sleeves. Let me know if you want me to do some more sleeve videos. I can share my new favorite brand with you. There's a brand that I'm just head over heels for right now. If that's something you want to hear, of course, leave a comment down below and I will do that for you. Of course, if this is something you enjoy, make the number go to the other number. And as always, thanks for watching.